So, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Our Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Chukas, and we kind of fast forward. Let's record it. We just got 38 years older from last Shabbos. We have Korach, which is kind of like a year two situation, and now it's the 40th year. So, even though we have these crazy time jumps, you know, Noach was thousand years in, and Abram was almost 2,000 years in. So we don't really, okay, whatever. But all of a sudden, we really care about the years. Um, we go from uh, year two, we go from Korach, we go all the way to year 40. So big jump. Where's time go? Where's time go? And famous Torah Rav Soloveitchik, that this 38 years of dying, all the Jewish people over the age of 20, the men, all the age of over 20 non-Levium men died in the Midbar over 38 years. So hundreds of thousands of people dying place to place, as they weren't ready to Eretz Yisrael. Only the younger ones were able to go in, and the women. So we have Aduma, which really talks about death. So that's kind of symbolized the 38 years, nothing really to talk about. Unfortunately, some Farshim say that there's no Nevuah. Hashem didn't speak to Moshe for 38 years. So nothing really special to talk about. And all these places are really in Matos and Maseh, which actually talk about the places they went to. We don't know much about these places. And these are the places. 38 years. But this parsha starts off, Parsha Egel, and a lot of questions. Everyone knows goes bananas over. It's a chok, we don't understand it. Kliyakar has an idea, but Shlomo, Moshe, no one understands Aduma. All these different things that go against each other. Why is it chok? It's called Chukas HaTorah. It should be called Chukas HaPara. Why is it given to Moshe? V'gichoi lecha. Why is it to Moshe specifically? We have wood, we have grass thrown into the fire. So a lot of different things that are taking place, Paraduma, that really are head scratchers, as we say. But one idea is the Sivir Shalom talks about is this wood and grass being put into the burning cow. So the first question is, Rashi says that the ego was a sin, and this is a kapara, paraduma. And the Sivir Shalom says that's all cute and good because they're both cows, but how is one metaking the other? Paraduma, a person is tamei, and this is something that's by the zara. What's the kesher? So the Sivir Shalom tackles this situation by really saying that it's not just metaking by the zara, it's been metaking chomer, attacking materialism. When the Jewish people embraced the ego, it wasn't really an ego per se, let's just bow down to cows and hot dogs. It was really a strike against Moshe. Because Moshe, they said, nachnu ma. Moshe and Aaron they say we're nothing, machnu ma. So when they said mahayallah, what happened to Moshe, it wasn't really we want to worship the cow. It was really, we don't want to follow the teachings of Moshe. Moshe, the Anav, Moshe, the one who didn't grab money leaving Mitzrayim. Moshe was going to take us in the Midbar and focus on being Anav, focus on things that are really spiritual, not the materialism side of things. And the people didn't want that. When the first chance that people had that Moshe was not going to be there, the 40 days, the people said, okay, not just rejection of Moshe, but his way of thinking, his thought process, and to embrace the para, the chomer, a cow, red cow, strong. And that's really their thought process. So we look at the paraduma as metaking to the ego, not because it's a cow per se, but it's the bowing down to the chomer side of the world, the spiritual, the physical part of the world. And the mitzvah, therefore, is to burn the cow. Burn the cow. We're trying to burn the chomer. And the Sivir Shalom talks about this a bunch of times, is that our job in the world is really to lower our chomer, lower the pursuit of money, lower the pursuit of physical in this world. We have things in the world to elevate. We talk about this a bunch of times. The point of this world, all the good things of the world, is not just to forget about Hashem, but to take things that embrace Hashem. We have computers to do work so we can pay the bills. We have internet, so we can kind of look at our Torahs, download our Torahs, use it in a good way, pay bills, find tzedakahs online, things like that. That's what we're using these things for. Wine, restaurants, all these things, not to take us away from Hashem, but to bring us close to Hashem through the means of these physical things. And that's really what we're trying to show with the burning of the cow. And therefore, once we have the burning of the cow, we take these two ingredients. We take the eitz erez, we take a piece of cedar wood, and azov. And usually we look at eitz erez and we say, whoa, the Mitzorah puts eitz erez because he thinks he's like Baal Gaiva. You put in the grass. Let's see what Shalom says. That's true, but there's actually a good time to have Gaiva. There's one area, and that's L'Kedusha. A person should never say, I'm nothing, I'm shiftless, I walk in there all sad all day, I have ripped clothing. It's not the way we treat ourselves. Because if you believe this, if you really think you're nothing, then what's one more Aveira? Okay, you're doing Aveira, what's the big deal? I'm low, I have nothing going for me. It's just an Aveira, I'm not that special anyway. So the Sefer Shalom says, no, you're a ben of Hashem. And therefore, there's a certain amount of exaltation, there's a certain amount of gaiva, for Kedusha, that you're supposed to have. On the other side, there's a downside, obviously. Too much of a gaiva. You don't listen to the rabbis as much. You're thinking about yourself all the time. So there's an up and a downside to that. And same thing with shiftless, being low. A person should not think, I have nothing, I'm so humble. Because then you're right. Then you can do Averis all day and you're not going to think it's a big deal. But a person should have a little bit of some shiftless to think that before Hashem, I'm nothing. Whatever I think, every mitzvah I think is important, may be important, it's all Hashem's word. Whether I understand it or not, it's Hashem's word. I have to do what Hashem says, whether I understand it or not, and that midah is good. So there's eitz, kedusha, eitz erez, and then the shiftless. And these two things go together. And Sima Shalom says, Aaron was the meaning of godless for kedusha, and Moshe had shiftless, anava. And those two things together are put into the burning of the chomer, burning into the Aduma. Not just one of those midos, but both of those midos. Not just they're good midos to have, but those two things together complement each other, and that's where you go. And that's why it starts up eitz erez ve'ezov, because first you have to really think yourself that you're a Jew and you have Hashem in you, and there's no physical bounds. You could do what you want. You could achieve what you want, but it's only after the burning of the chomer. After or while the chomer is being burned, then you could really understand how I can achieve my goals. And this Yishalom has this line that it comes up every once in a while. Kliakar talks about this. Kliakar has the line of, you can't dance, you can't have your foot in two tables or two parties. One's your ikr, one's your tafel. Yes, there are big tzaddikim that are rich, and there's really poor people that are kind of jerky, don't learn Torah. But one's your ikr, one's your tafel. And after 120, there's a question. Yes, you had a lot of money, but that's your ikr. What was your purpose in the world? You started your day. What were you thinking about? Was your passion to learn Torah, or passion was to get another car or a new car or whatever, go to Papagayos or something? And that's your ikr, that's your tafel. And the Sefer Shalom at the line is, a person cannot get to the high level, you can't get to your potential unless you work on your chomer, unless you burn your chomer. And I thought it's a pretty big line. There's so many times, myself personally, I never thought I'd have time to learn or to enjoy learning. And we have these limitations placed on ourselves. The physical side, I need X amount of sleep. I need X amount of money. I don't really care about learning. I don't understand it so well. My brain isn't made for that. Some people, they don't read that well. Some people can't speak Hebrew so well. So there's a lot of limitations, physical limitations we put on ourselves or were given to us. I take that back. They're given to us. Hashem gives us our package, I'm a certain height, a certain look. Hashem put me that way. Situation doesn't mean it's going to hold me back. It's only really with our eyes, with our chomer eyes. I really can't learn all. I can't learn. I'm too busy. I got to make the money. or I'm too tired, I gotta sleep. All these things, we put these things on ourselves, and it's not really excuses. We have Hashem Mima'al, we have Hashem inside of us, so we really don't have a boundary. See, Rochelle talks about this, and it's hitting home, where we put these things on ourselves, and we can't imagine we could do these things. Some people do crazy amount of chesed. Some people, become great fathers. Some people do things that they really never thought they could do, but it's only when I make it not the ikr anymore. Once I kind of understand that the chomer is not the means to an end, it's just a means. The end is something else, and that's not my ikr. My world is different. My life is different, and now I can achieve things. And starting as chos kashos, starting is difficult, and then you kind of get into the rhythm, and you can do these things. So that's kind of really what the parasha talks about. All these different lessons. There's you think the Azov and the Eitz Erez putting into Shreipas HaPara. Shabbat Shalom.